Hey there, Northern Beekeepers, welcome back. It's the 4th of July today. We're going to be going into a hive here that I opened up last night, had a few swarm cells. Tried to find the queen and I couldn't find her. I know they hadn't swarmed yet, ended up doing some splits, so today we're going to dig in a little bit deeper and see what we can find in the hive. Try to find that queen and put her in a different hive, try to keep them from swarming on me. Bees have been pretty prolific this year. If you look here in the background, this is my home yard. Got probably, I think last time I did a count, about 36 hives now. Most of these are 5/5 nukes, but that's kind of what I'm trying to do here, is do a bunch of nukes. So anyways, let's dig into this hive, see if we can't find the queen and prevent these girls from swarming on me. Okay guys, we're going to dig in. This particular hive here, I have already taken off a couple splits earlier in the year. Last night I saw them bearded pretty heavily on the front of the box, and I just opened it up to investigate. Turned out there were a number of swarm cells. So obviously I wanted to get them broke down before they tried to leave and go somewhere where I can't capture them. I have been able to get most of the swarms on my own property. I've only lost one this year. That was one my wife attempted to do, and she had them in a box, but they ended up leaving. But otherwise I've managed to capture all my own swarm cells, which are swarms. So that was kind of nice. But today we need to find that queen, because even though I took out a bunch of bees yesterday, there's a pretty good chance that she's still gonna swarm out. So and I dug and dug last night. I just never could find her in these boxes. So we'll try it again today with a little better light. Last night was kind of cloudy, couldn't quite see very well, but she's in one of 3 boxes. Should be able to find her. Put in some brand new comb as well, and they're already starting to draw some of that. This hive here was a little bit slow to build up in the spring compared to my other ones, but since then it's come on strong, and I've been able to pull a frame or 2 off here and there to kind of make up some splits and expand the apiary. So they've been doing pretty good. You can see here we're just starting to get a pretty good flow of honey. We got honey outside, cap brood. This frame here has got a lot of pollen and nectar in it, honey. I have seen queens on these outer frames like this, in these 5/5s, so I do have to take a look. It's not very often, but on occasion, so I gotta check every frame. Since the space is a little bit smaller, the queen tends to wander around some of these on occasion. I don't see her in the top box today. You see a couple fresh eggs in there. Somewhat fresh. Said she's gonna be in one of these 3 colonies. I shook some bees into the next door. They had a failed virgin queen attempt. It didn't survive the mating flight, so I threw a swarm cell in it and shook some bees in last night. Attempting to try to get them calmed down from a swarm. I've tried that before and they still end up swarming on me, so I don't know how successful it is. Usually I want to try to get the original queen out, but like I said, I couldn't find her last night. These plastic frames I'm using, I started out with the yellow ones. They're still the Man Lake 4.9mm. Found it a little bit harder to see eggs on them, so I switched over to the black ones. It makes it a little bit easier. They draw comb on it pretty well for the most part. And they're pretty cheap. So here you can see 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 swarm cells. And this is the first frame I saw with the cells on it, so that got me hopping here to try to get these real split down a little bit. They had been doing fine. They had a couple frames of undrawn comb, but we've been in a minor dearth, and we had a lot of heat this last week, and I think that just kind of got them a little motivated. And this colony has always bearded up on the outside of the hive as well with the heat. I guess heat's a relative term for us here in northern Wisconsin. It's been in low 80s, high humidity. For other parts of the country that's not bad, but for us it's pretty warm. A lot of pollen and nectar on this. I am still seeing some eggs on it. I don't recall if this had eggs last night. I don't think it did. So they haven't swarmed yet, but they're getting ready. And this is also one of the colonies I did not mark the queen. I know for a fact. So that also makes it a little bit harder to find her. It's funny with these bees, when you're not looking for the queen, she's usually easy to find. when you want to find her. And it's a Where's Waldo. I tell you what, I have not found her, so I don't think she's in here. I've said that before and missed them. She could be on the sidewall, I suppose, but alright, anyways, there's that box. We'll go to the next one over here. They've got a few swarm cells, so they'll be alright, even if she's not in here. Okay, so again, this hive here, I had made a split. The queen hatched. Last time I saw her, I thought she was mated, but apparently not. So I gave a little bit of time just to make sure that it didn't take. And you know, obviously, after seeing the swarm cells last night, I just went ahead and made the decision to try to shake in some bees and add a few frames of a brood to help them out. The bee numbers have been going down, and basically not having any brood for over a month. The numbers have been slowly trending downward. So I threw in a full frame of capped brood and a frame with some swarm cells on it. So when that queen hatches, she'll have some good numbers to help her along. Good train of pollen and half brood. Yell if you guys see the queen. So the other thing I'm going to do on that last hive I looked at, I've got an entrance disc on there. It's got a queen excluder. So if I don't find her going through this time again, I'll close that door up, give it another couple days, and dig in there one last time. See what we can do. So we've got a couple swarm cells here. So those will get capped, and you know that queen should be hatched here, not this weekend, but by next weekend. And mated. See how that goes. Tell you what, if I do find this girl, I'm going to put a marker on her because she is tough to find. There aren't that many open cells on these at all because the bees that were in there, they've been pulling in pollen and nectar, so almost everything is back plugged with pollen and nectar. I guess if I saw a fresh egg, and then I would know she was in here for sure, because this one didn't have any. They were pretty well plugged solid. Didn't really draw any comb for me. Just plugging up what they already had. It's just a frame of solid pollen. Well, I'm not seeing any sign of a queen. There's no fresh eggs, and she is not around. So I'm going to say that she is not in here, and I'm just going to make a new queen. Okay, one last hive here we're going to check. Try to get off to the side so don't block. A nice little frame of pollen and a little bit of brood, cat brood on around the outside. So basically just a frame of honey and pollen. And we got a swarm cell down there on the very bottom of the frame. You can see there's some few other cells with some eggs, so even if they don't like that one, they've got some other ones they can pick. Not finding her in here either. I don't see any sign of a queen. There's no fresh eggs. And a few cells that are open. So my gut is telling me that she is still in that first hive. So I'm gonna close up the door on her and try to take a look again in a couple days. Irregardless, we've had some really good bees this year. They've been doing really well. Pollen nectar flow has been a little slow with our cold spring. Everything's been delayed a couple weeks. Listen to other beekeepers in Wisconsin. Some areas had, good locust and other flows, and some haven't. Around me, it was okay, I guess. It didn't do too bad. Right now we've got, for kind of some main sources, we got basswood coming on. A lot of the raspberries and blackberries and stuff are in bloom right now. And of course, if you're near any of the wildflowers, those are going strong. Clover's starting to come on. And yeah, so the main nectar flow for us is starting here about any time. So thanks for watching. We'll try to put out another video soon.